All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start an office hours where, yes, we have snowmen working across the United States, making little mazes to make us say welcome to office hours, because that's the kind of company that we are here at PayProTec. We're going to make sure that you have everything you need to be the best suited for every situation. And one of those things is to bring up products that maybe you looked at before and you're like, this isn't the right fit for one of our merchants. And maybe it's a time to take a second look. Or maybe you're just checking out PayProTec and you say, what is this thing called PayAnywhere? Well, today on office hours, we are going to discuss all things PayAnywhere. But let me start by getting the stars, the people who are going to give us all the information. On the center of your screen from Glenwood Springs, Colorado, living up in the Rocky Mountains. How are you, Miss Jenny Rickle? How is life in the, I hope, snowy mountains? Are you still snowy up there?
Kind of. I wish that we had more snow, but I'm like one of those people that I just love winter. I love the snow and getting ready for the holidays and really just living life. I'm really excited for the next couple of weeks, excited for the holiday palooza coming up. So good things are coming our way.
It is. It is a good time to be part of the PayProTech Nation. And on the far right-hand side of your screen, in northern Indiana, in Warsaw, Indiana, is Mike Stetzel. Mike, I think you still have snow. Our snow is coming back today. It left about 3 days ago with a nice little 40-degree rain. And apparently we're getting 2 to 4 inches again, just in time for me to drive 2 hours north tonight. How are you, Mike? And how is life in Warsaw?
Doing well. The roads are clear. The beautiful mix we've had of several snowstorms in the fall with now the dirty grass, leaves, and snow isn't as pretty as what it should be, but it'll go away again. But like you said, maybe some more tonight. But we're doing great in Warsaw.
That is awesome. Well, and it's just that special time of year. You get the Christmas decorations out. You bake a few Christmas cookies. I made some gingerbread men recently. Have a little bit of fun, and you start thinking a little bit more nostalgia. And at PayProTech, there's nothing more nostalgic than thinking about PayAnywhere. PayAnywhere is a product that started, if you can believe this, as just a headphone dongle back in 2013, really, as phone swipe, and then kind of merged. There were two sister companies all owned by the same company, one called phone swipe, one called PayAnywhere, and they merged together eventually. And this product has been evolving significantly, but it's had lots of hiccups over the time. They rolled out a solution, and we're going to answer some questions. I'm seeing other things, but we're seeing it has. We have partners now, and I'll ask this of Mike here. We have partners that, but 3 years ago, I wouldn't have guessed, that are completely loyal to only PayAnywhere or mostly PayAnywhere. And Mike, I know you work with several of these partners. Why do they choose to work with PayAnywhere, and why do they stay loyal to PayAnywhere?
The biggest thing that the partners have used is the inventory function, and whether using it as inventory, whether using it as menu items in several different types of food settings, whether it's selling admission tickets, they've stuck to it because of that. They've stuck to it because most of the merchants that he deals with don't need a full-blown point of sale to what they're doing. So they've tried to keep their merchants' expenses down as we compete with Clover for a lot of those type of outlets. And using PayAnywhere keeps us very competitive with that. Also, you know, our PayAnywhere team looks for partners to try new things. And again, these folks that have been loyal to PayAnywhere like to see that. They like to see growth. They like to see um, us investing in the product. So that kind of stuff is exciting. And I saw your comment down in the section there at I think it's at iSmart Payments.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hello from Utah, which we like. Thanks. But there's lots of issues
Yeah,
with the PayAnywhere app just spinning away on the PX A920 Pro. Merchants tell me, and I have seen, what are they doing to make the app better? And those are
yeah,
things we want to hear. Mike, do you have first response on that?
I do. I just send me an email at mike@pptdesk.com and let me know specifically what's going on. I'll see if it's something that we need to have somebody take a look at behind the scenes, and tell me a little bit more about what your experience is because everything's different to every partner. And so if this is more than one MIDS having the problem, that could be one thing. If it's just one, it could be that for whatever reason it hasn't picked up the latest update. So little things can happen that become very frustrating. And so this is part of why we wanted to do this today, because we know that we came from sometimes years ago that this was not our favorite. Um, it was not always our favorite product, and we didn't rush out and beg people to use it. But we're at a different point now. So let me see if I can help you. But congratulations that you had 260 phone swipe accounts back in the day. I only know one person that had more than that, probably. And that's Kevin Lashley, I would guess, because that's what he did. But I'd love to have a conversation about that too when you send me the email.
I think the one I know, Mobilized, which we actually ended up purchasing, had 1,500 at one point. I think phone swipe accounts back in the day, and
I
still
thought that was
has.
Kevin.
That Mobilized is Rob Lejeune, actually. So, but
that's right. Okay.
But back in the day. So, bringing all those up, that was I think, and I was looking recently. I think they've been transitioned to PayAnywhere hardware, but there's still several hundred back of those 1,500 phone swipes that are still processing some minimal amounts. They're getting monthly minimum. Some were set up as pay as you go, and so they make you $1.50 a month. But there were a couple I looked just 2 weeks ago. There are accounts that were set up in 2013 that are making $150 a month that are just pay as you go accounts, and it's kind of weird how some of those things work. We've moved on, I think, as a whole for a lot of those, but that system still works. You can still set someone up as pay as you go, Jenny. Correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I like PayAnywhere a lot, is because there's a lot of options and flexibility with that, right? So, and then kind of to Mike was saying, if there's a specific issue that somebody is running into, we would love to look at that and take a look. But as a whole, PayAnywhere really tries to find a solution for whatever the business needs, whether it's going to be a smaller mobile reader for pay as you go, which is really simple and really nice and easy to use. The handhelds are nice. The devices with 2 displays for like a food truck or that retail solution. We really do try to find a solution that the business needs within our PayAnywhere suite.
All right, I'm going to try to do something here, and we're going to try to watch a video that I didn't test this ahead of time. We're going to see whether this works or not. So if it does, I know you'll see it. The question is, will you hear it? And we're going to see if we can make that work. So here we go. I'm going to put it up here. I've got to hit a button, and we'll see if this works.
Of any work platform we tried in the past. We tried other work management platforms, not naming names. They all suck. Monday, total opposite.
Oh, this I was like, this isn't it. You know what?
Monday evangelist.
Okay, here we go. We got an ad for an ad. All right, so first, tips and tricks when we're using YouTube. I should have signed into my personal account, which I pay for premium and don't have ads, but I was signed into my corporate account, which we do have ads. 2, one of the things, the features that are probably the biggest features that have come out in the last quarter are the fact that there is now the integrations to receipt or to kitchen printers, the ability to run not just a receipt printer but a kitchen printer, and to do KDS mixed with all the other features that have been out there, and we can talk about some of those other features. But Mike, I know you've been working with one of our partners that's not only taking those features which are going to be in PayAnywhere, but he's integrated his software that already does that. Can you kind of walk us through, and I think we'll probably do an episode about this in the coming year, but what he's putting together and why he's using the KDS and the kitchen printer and how he's actually integrating that into his own personal software?
It's probably a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I'm trying to remember what I told you, but he is able to integrate with PayAnywhere, and whether he's doing that with a Magenta reader, which is capable of integrating directly with EPX, or whether he's using PayAnywhere. He's just been very patient, been looking for the right solution, and these things are starting to pay off for him. And he's starting to get to talk to people about, you know, ethnic festivals that do $1.5 million over a weekend. And, you know, being able to work with places like that and supply them with 60 to 80 terminals is something that he's been looking for a long time. But at the same time, he's going to need to help them also be able to, you know, collect admission for this festival. And that's something that we can do. And again, connect it directly to EPX. So it's just something that we've worked on patiently and, you know, through, you know, our integrations team, through PayAnywhere folks. We have experts in hardware, software. We have, you know, third level tech support guys that can help for things like that. And so it's just something he's worked at for years, and it's coming to fruition now.
Jenny, how about for you as we've launched these new features and all of these? Some of these I have not seen in person yet, so we're still kind of learning. But we want to make sure that people are looking at this, especially coming into the new year. And I think if everything goes by February 5th, we're going to have someone on from PayAnywhere to talk about this. That's the goal. We're working on some things. But what are some of the features that you've seen roll out in the last 2 quarters that you think are interesting and that you've heard intrigued by our partners who are setting up merchants with PayAnywhere?
Oh, that's a good question. So really, and Mike said this earlier, like PayAnywhere has really come leaps and bounds within the past few years. Really specifically, that I think that's something that was really neat in the serverless industry was having the server IDs, right? Before they would have to go in and out and log in and out, and they were able to create something a better solution for that in that type of setting in the restaurant world. And then the reporting in the background has been really, really nice as well. Before it was the daily Snapchats and it's just a little bit more concise and clear when you be able to receive what was done today, what was with Edge and what wasn't, and what was deposited into the account, and just make it really clear for the business so they can just move on for their day when they go ahead and log into in the morning. They don't have to worry about and go chase down where their deposits are for the end of the day. They know it's there, they know it's coming, it's easy to read. And I think that's been really helpful to the business owners as well.
Mike, I'll jump over and ask you the same question. What have you heard? You know, you have specifically a partner who's integrating into PayAnywhere and using some of these new features like the KDS or like being able to use a kitchen printer. Mm-hmm. But what have you seen other partners, or have you been talking to partners? What's exciting them about PayAnywhere right now?
And I think, Jen, you said you said server IDs, didn't you?
Yeah, yes. Which is huge, right? That was a nice feature.
So big. The most basic credit card terminal has done that for years. So they are excited about that. I think, again, just trying to bring some of the benefits back to the top of mind. And somebody I talked to the other day was reminded that, you know what, we can start a tab on PayAnywhere. So I could take this A920 to the table for my $19.95 a month software, and I could ring that customer up. If you begin to integrate some of these kitchen printers, these QSR situations, and a KDS screen, you're literally functioning in a still entry-level way, but like a full-blown point of sale system. I know that device on one of our point of sale systems, you'd have to pay $39.99 a month for it and purchase it for $399. We're giving you a PayAnywhere terminal that can do this. Again, in a basic way. We're not running a 200-seat restaurant in this way. But I had somebody the other day, it's like, yeah, I can use this just like a handheld. I'm like, yes. And so from our own point of view, I think we let off the gas somewhat with PayAnywhere. So it's our own fault. But, I think that's why, again, Nate brought this up today to throw it back out there.
Well, and here's the thing, and I'll put this just on me because I have heard horror stories, and some of them are from 2015 to 2018. What's as much as I want to say that was just yesterday, we're talking
Yeah.
about a decade ago, where we had merchants where we replaced 1,000 different PayAnywhere storefronts. That was a product that was a standalone kind of like 11-inch screen that was created at one point that had huge major issues, and we had to we flipped them to Paradise, and we had all kinds of other things going on. PayAnywhere is a much more stable product. It goes through much more testing. They're working with hardware, both with mostly the PAX hardware still, but we've also introduced occasionally some Soon.me hardware, which is coming, I think, more and more. We don't know the exact time in the 2026, but it's more stable on the hardware settings. They're more stable on the software, and we're seeing a lot of more merchants who start entry level and can transition to some things where they get into what we'll call POS Lite, where they're kind of getting into that MPOS world, where they're getting some of the features. And what I would do if I were you, and Mike and Jenny, what do you think, is I would present it to the merchant, hey, this is a great tool. You're going to get this for X amount of dollars, $19.95. You're going to get this free piece of hardware. You're going to then be able to grow up to the $69.95 if you want some of these other features, and you can have a whole. And then make sure they know that you can work with the POS pros as they need other things, especially like a food truck who then grows into a sit-down restaurant. They shouldn't be using their PayAnywhere for a sit-down restaurant, but it's great for the food truck, and it's a great starter device when they're serving 100 people a week versus 1,000 people a week as they grow into things. And I think it's a great entry level, and it's something that we need to look at, because we're going to be talking about other features. We're going to be doing a launch with Deja Vu in January, which has some things. There are other options here, but consider PayAnywhere, and we over incentivize it most of the time during the year. For part of this year, it was everything was equal, but you get a bigger bonus if you're on the bonus IDs for these. What do you guys think of making sure that it's what you do as an entry level system, and being able to grow with businesses as PayAnywhere, and then making sure that you introduce hey, I can also do several other types of POS.
Well, and kind of just echoing what you said, Nate, it's such a great way to help a business start to thrive. Like maybe it's a business that has been using just your basic countertop device for forever, and then you can show them how the inventory management can help them keep better track, how they can go ahead and add these additional features that PayAnywhere has for helping out with their quarterly or monthly sales tax, helping out with their employees. Like they have all of these additional options that can absolutely help up a business and then maybe get into that larger point of sale world. And it's really nice that we can offer that and have that for our sales partners to have all these different levels to really just help a merchant not just grow, but like thrive and succeed.
Yeah. And one of the things I'm going to do, let me bring this up and we can kind of talk through it. If I can find my share the screen again. But going to the PayAnywhere site's a great introduction. Like this is PayAnywhere.com, why PayAnywhere, but I'm actually /QSR, but I think you can get to it. It'll redirect just going PayAnywhere.com/QSR, or going into the website and finding, but some of these features that are going in, create orders and accept payments on one device, give customers exactly what they want when they want it, being able to do as many modifiers. They now have multiple trees. I think it goes 5 levels down of being able to do items with categories and modifiers. Be able to fryer to the kitchen printer. It has all the visual ticks if they want to be able to do it, create tickets. Going over here and started looking at all the system. This didn't exist a year ago. And in fact, a lot of it didn't exist 3 months ago. And these are major updates to the PayAnywhere, and I really think you should test them out and kind of look at them. Mike, if a partner was saying, man, I really want to start looking at these, I want to start learning how all these work, what would be the first step for them to be trained in all the features that are in PayAnywhere?
One, I think you could start with exploration on the PayAnywhere YouTube site. Secondly, that page that you're on right now with PayAnywhere.com, if you click on the link that says support, first off, you can click on first time setup, and it's going to walk you through anything you have to do the first time you set up that terminal. Realistically, sorry, I guess you have to search it in there. Any subject you put in there, I've been so successful in finding. Whether it's a special feature or it's, how to change the sales tax, simple as that. And so a lot of times I go here and it's my technical support help before I even have to call tech support. And so I've found it really helpful. Um, there are people, within our organization, a couple sales partners even. If you really, really want to get serious about this, I think I could get, one of them to chat with you and kind of go into the things that might not even be real handy on that site yet because they're new and coming soon. So if you're serious about it, we could do that. But otherwise, looking through that initial setup, it gives you an idea of everything that the machine can do or that the software can do. As Nate said, whether it's on the PayAnywhere Smart Mini, Smart Terminal, all the way up to the Smart POS Plus, which has the $49.95 software fee because it's a much larger unit. The app does the same thing, but it's a much larger piece of equipment with two displays. So again, I think it's a matter of reaching out if you want to dig deeper than what's on that site. There's plenty of things that either Jenny or I could chat with you about, and if we need to dig real deep, we have resources for that as well.
Yeah. And what I would do if I were a PayProTec partner, as I would grow my business and as I have money to invest back in myself, and or I show up to Holiday Palooza next week and you have a chance of winning some of this, I would start collecting demo units. I would have a920 with me, a smart terminal from PayAnywhere, and I would walk in with a Deja Vu, let's say P100, which we'll be introducing here soon. That'll be on EPX, hopefully very, very soon. We'll be talking about that at Holiday Palooza next week on the 6th or on the 18th at 2 p.m. We'll talk about that again in a second. And maybe I would collect a quick POS. We have several of our partners now that have a full quick POS that they carry around with them and can walk into a restaurant and go do a full demo on a station. You can always do a demo online and just do it on your iPad or but they do carry it in. And I would start putting these pieces together and setting yourself apart and saying, look, we have a plethora of options. We have entry level with PayAnywhere that gets you a lot farther down the road of features than it did a year ago. We have basic dumb boxes, and they're not totally dumb, but the Ingenico devices. We have Deja Vu, which is good, really some new cool things we'll be talking about here in the coming weeks. Again, next week, we'll talk a little bit and tease some of that. And we have Valors, and maybe you put a VP800 out there, and you have, which is, you take that versus there's all kinds of things that you could be putting together. I would start looking and presenting options to your merchants. And that's how I would do it. The other thing is there are partners that only sell PayAnywhere and just say, man, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go all in. And when somebody says they need something else, I'm going to say that's not for me and not for, and you heard that from Nick Korthals just a couple of weeks ago in Core Payments. And that's kind of how they focus now. I think they're going to probably make some transitions as they continue to grow. But that's how they started out. And that's your choice to do it. And what I love is we give you all those options. Jenny, as we close out on PayAnywhere, just kind of highlighting it, bringing it back up, making sure people are thinking about it. What would you want our partners to remember about PayAnywhere as we close out today?
It's just a really great solution that don't count it out when you start thinking about the solutions that we offer. Because sometimes technology, especially like we've said it, like it didn't have a great reputation like 5 years ago, 8 years ago, but come back, right? PayAnywhere has come a long way. They have a lot of options, a lot of opportunities. They really do try to fit the industry that the merchant is in, meet those specifications, and help a merchant grow. So if you're looking for a solution, definitely try PayAnywhere. Take a look. They probably have something that's going to work for a business.
Awesome. And Mike, how about you? What are you for closing words?
A little bit of the same thing, going back to the comment here of, the app just spinning away. First off, we should probably always give our tech level 1 folks a shot at solving that. Second, if you've tried that and you're just not getting the things that you're looking for, let one of us know. There's some work we could have them look at behind the scenes, because I don't want to have somebody with the feeling of, hey, shoot, you know what, man, every PA account I've got out there, I'm having a problem with this or that. I'll be honest, most times we have problems with PayAnywhere, it is related to the internet connection in the business. So sometimes it's not PayAnywhere's fault, but the PayAnywhere equipment is just like an Android phone basically. So if there's signal problems, we all know from our own phones that it's just gonna stink. And so anyway, give us a shot with some of those. Please, I know you can't call us every time you have a problem with PayAnywhere that's annoying, but when you've got something you've really tried to troubleshoot and you just don't think you're getting the right answer, we're happy to help. So let us know.
All right. Well, and we teased this as we finish today for December 11th that this is our last office hours of 2025. But don't worry, we're coming back in 2026. We'll be back in full energy on January 8th, 2026. But next week is Holiday Palooza. And hopefully you've got it in your emails. I realize that we're not really doing this with a landing page, but we're inviting everyone to go. You're going to get some, if you're on our email list, if you're on our text message list, you're going to get invites to it. But it's from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock Eastern time next Thursday on the 18th. We're going to have all kinds of prizes. We have TVs to give away. We've got AirPods to give away. We have a $400 toothbrush to give away, because that is the coolest thing I'm getting. We're doing we went to a lot of our leaders and said, what is one of your favorite things? And so we're kind of doing that. Plus, we're giving a quick system away. We're giving, I know Deja Vu is donating, Valor's donating. I think we're going to have a Paradise out there we're giving away. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to have, there's different segments. One of them being, we're going to have guess the baby pictures of our staff. And if you're going to be able to engage with that and you get the most right, hopefully you get a chance to be in the drawing or winning. It's just all going to be fun. Every year it's a lot of fun. This is our 3rd annual Holiday Palooza. It's our 5th Christmas live stream, and we just keep getting bitter and having more fun, but it's right here on our YouTube channel. So just go ahead and like and subscribe so you can get all that. And then if you look for our text, we will send you a calendar invite. And if you're not on our email list right now, just email Nate, Nate, at payprotec.com, PAYPROTEC, in case you don't see it on the screen. It doesn't have an H. We do own that. I should make that domain, but I should at some point turn those into our emails. It's amazing how many people, even our own staff, put an H sometimes in our PayProTec. But we are excited to do Holiday Palooza. It'll be a lot of fun. Jenny and Mike will be on it, and lots of our staff as we rotate through and have a lot of fun on this live stream. So we're really looking forward to celebrating the holidays, celebrating Christmas, and giving a bunch of stuff away, and giving a little teasing of some stuff to come in 2026. So please join us next Thursday. Mike Stetzel, you're in your blurry self. You're lower quality today, but your voice is loud. Can you give us a holiday greeting as we finish off here? Jenny, we're doing both of us together, but all of us are doing holiday greetings here as we close off our last office hours of 2025.
Ooh, that gave me a little bit of a chill. It's hard to believe we're holidays. Hopefully it's not projecting like this. I thought it always projected better than what I see here. But
you're
blurry. I'm not sure what's happening.
You sound great, but I think your internet must be. It's cold up there in northern Indiana today.
That's right. The fiber's getting cold. Anyway, here we are, December 11th, 2 weeks from Christmas, and this is. I'll be coming up on 12 years with PayProTec. In April, Nate's coming up on 13 very soon, and Jenny 5, 6. I just marvel that we're all here year after year, and we learn and we do different things every year to make sure that we're successful. Some years are easier than others, but I'm just here 2 weeks before Christmas. I want to say thank you to our team and to our our customers, and most importantly our partners. So have some good times at the holidays. Enjoy yourself. I know from my own things that sometimes holidays can be stressful, and there's awkward things here, and there's all kinds of things that happen with family. So anyway, do what you can to enjoy it, and thank you for your partnership in 2025 and continuing into 2026.
Awesome.
Merry Christmas.
And Jenny, for you, our last words of 2025 office hours.
And then kind of echo Mike, just thank you. Thank you to all of our viewers out there and everybody who's made this a spectacular year at PayProTec. We really appreciate everybody out there. All of our sales partners, everybody else at PayProTec. Like, it's been a good year, and hopefully we have just a great year next year at 2026. And so happy holidays, everybody.
Love it. And I'll simply say, Mike reminded me, because I hadn't actually thought about it, on Saturday the 13th, or yeah, is that right? No, yeah, Saturday the 13th. Today's the 11th, so that'd be the 13th. Is 13 years for me finished, and I'll start my 14th year here at PayProTec. And it's a privilege to serve along our team and to serve our partners. And as we become more and more focused on helping you hopefully grow generational wealth and working together to do that, that is our goal. And we wake up trying to figure that out all the time. And I think we're going to have some great things in 2026, including on the show Office Hours, which we do on most Thursdays. I should have counted how many we did this year. I'm going to guess it was around 35 episodes. We take some Thursdays off. We travel sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't all work out. But we come to you time after time with good content, good interviews, and we're going to have even more in 2026. And I want to thank Mike and Jenny for coming and joining us. And they are giving up their time. Mike they're both always on the phone right up to the edge, and then they focus in on doing this. And I'm so thankful we're able to do that. And for the hundreds of you who watch these episodes, thank you so much for being part of the PayProTec family. On behalf of Mike Stetzel, Jenny Rickle, I'm Nate Manahan. Happy holidays, and we'll see you at Holiday Palooza next Thursday, 2 p.m. right here on this YouTube channel. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.